So did you know were you making a joke on the Atlanta thing where it was Kirk Cousins, or do you know a guy in Atlanta?
I know several people in Atlanta,
But you don't know if they're the listener.
No.
Oh, you convinced me that they were. So maybe it is still somebody where I work.
Could be. My company headquarters was also in Atlanta, so I know a lot of people in Atlanta.
The faucet company. Toilets, too. Sinks.
Yes.
They made a lot of things, those guys. Oh.
Greek.
Greek. Oh, was that what number is that in the alphabet?
4?
I don't even know how it works. Yeah.
No, maybe it's third. Alpha, Beta, Delta.
What was the one in Animal House? And then there was one in Legally
Delta
Blonde.
House.
The Delta House. What was it? Phi Beta Delta? I think
it was just.
It wasn't just Delta House. You couldn't just be one. You had to be like 3. Lambda, Lambda, Lambda. Wasn't that from Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah.
So there you go. So it must be Delta, Delta, Delta. Okay. We're not going to say where you used to work, but are you still have any ties to them at all?
I'm free as a bird.
And this bird, you cannot change.
Caw-caw.
You know. So do you know a strange stat? Speaking of birds, that I've seen it firsthand, and I might be making a statement that's untrue, but I think there is something unique to ducks when it comes to reproducing.
They're very angry. Is that what you were getting at?
There can be a few of them involved, and it could be against the will of the person that gives birth to the eggs, and it's not pleasant to watch. So tonight, around the tree that we planted, our neighbors pitched in, and I think you were one of those neighbors at the time, and I think you probably were involved in this. People, when you lose a parent, they're like, hey, here's a gift card to get a tree. So we planted this little tree by our deck. And tonight, as I'm just getting ready to come down to do this podcast, Chris is like, oh, there's 4 ducks. They're right next to the tree for your dad. And I'm like, do they all look alike? Or is one of them a little drab looking and tired? But there was 4 male mallards, which have a green head. Beautiful animal. But I'm just like, they're either waiting or recovering because it's that time of year and it's bad. Hey, we're not going to run out of ducks, I don't think, anytime soon, but they're very, more than efficient. Because I think they all get a shot in there. They all get a turn. Ascertainers. Your Audubon. The Audubon Society doesn't want us using their name, so we thought Ascertainers was one letter different than every letter in Audubon. Did you know that? Look it up. If you've looked it up by then, you might as well listen. Just don't waste your time doing that. Just listen to another episode. Fuck it. Not this one. This one sucks. We're not even into it yet. Mark and I both feel this will be a bad one. So maybe we'll just build some curiosity that way.
Maybe.
Out of 100, and this is episode 110, if it comes out on schedule.
We'll see.
Where do you think this one will rank? Like in the top 70?
Ooh. I have such a short memory, I don't remember earlier episodes. So
that's what therapy does for you, pal.
Yes.
I feel like this is going to be about number 40. You know what? Let's just tip of the hat to our friend, because it's the NFL draft. Who's the Ascertainers' favorite former Viking football player?
Teddy?
It's Joey Browner.
Joey Browner.
Who wore number 47. I think this will be the 47th best one of these. So if you got to listen to all of them, this is below the Mendoza line. This is below the halfway point. I feel like this is going to be a train wreck.
I thought when you brought that up, the one that we actually met on the golf course.
We met Theodore Brown on the golf course. I don't think he enjoyed it as much as we did, but that golf course is now, rest in peace. It's now a data center, or it's on its way to becoming one. That's bad. I think this will be actually 67. Who was 67? Was that Mick Tingelhoff?
No, I think that was Doug Larson was 69. I think he was a defensive.
He was 69?
I think so.
Okay. Well, either way, 70. Well, who's 77? I think this is going to be like a Jim Marshall level. No, he was 70.
Yeah, 77 was
Gary,
that Gary?
That was Gary Marshall. That was a defense. We'll look it up. Either way.
Well, Ron Yary was 75.
Was he offensive line or defensive?
Yeah, he was offensive tackle.
Because I think, what did I say? Gary who? Marshall?
Gary Larson.
It's Larson. We've had this conversation before. But what I was trying to...
Yeah, but people don't remember.
Yeah, I know.
If we don't remember, other people don't remember.
We're just killing time. And they're like, who are these Vikings people? So we are in Minnesota. We are the Ascertainers. I'm Jim. That's Mark. This is our podcast, and we're very happy to bring it to you. It is Mark's idea, though. We have to say that.
He brings that up because I mentioned to him that I feel uncomfortable when he says it's my podcast because he is...
Even though...
involved as much as I am.
Okay. I just want to, it's like when you try to, that wasn't me, who's that, Nelly? It wasn't me, or Usher. We're a music podcast, we should know it wasn't me. It's something about a guy getting walked in on by his girlfriend, and he's like, oh, it wasn't me.
Oh, I was thinking George Thorogood.
It's same concept, different delivery. Wow, what a good song that is. Also, speaking of music, the Geils, is it Nighttime? Live version. Oh, everyone should listen to it. That'll be in the notes of tonight's, the write-up of the episode that you are listening to right now.
You always bring up an underappreciated band. Geils was underappreciated.
It was a fun... Well, here's the thing, is that I like Geils for like the studio stuff that they did. They had a couple of albums that I'm very fond of and everything. But when I heard you, I think you turned me on to it. It was a live version of Nighttime. And I'm like, this isn't, there's no way this is Geils band. It was so like rough and kind of swampy. It's a really good song. And Peter Wolf, Geils, and of course, Magic Dick. Look it up. It's a thing. It wasn't like magic like goes around corners. It was like just a nickname, not like mine. Hey, what's going on? So no topic tonight. We were just talking about, Mark and I had a nice little business therapy meeting beforehand, and we cleared the air about it's good. We should do it probably once every 40 episodes or so.
I don't think I'll have a black eye tomorrow, but I think it'll be all right.
Hey, put the chicken on it. I gave you that frozen chicken. But yeah, it's we spend a lot of time together, but we almost never. No, we don't spend any time together hardly between times when we get together and do the actual recording. So in our history, we've had some times where I've put my foot firmly in my mouth and Mark's corrected me, and I went to the box for 2 minutes and felt shame. And but anyway, tonight's it was good. No one's feelings got hurt, I don't think, and at least mine didn't, unless I didn't understand what you were saying.
No hard feelings. It was just a
I'm not a narcissist.
Behind the scenes meeting with HR, and that's Jim was sat down and told to toe the line. Other than that, it was fine. I've
told you several times before, you talk to my representation. You don't talk to me about that stuff. And I just won't have it, Mark.
Are you in the broadcasting union?
I'm the Grave Dancers Union.
Hell is that?
It's an album by Soul Asylum. I think it's in that box. That's probably their most successful album. Soul Asylum is a band from Minneapolis, still active, even though Dave Perner is at least our age, maybe even a little older.
He's the only one left in
his voice is held up. And so, yes, his voice, he is the sole survivor. The original bass player died. He had throat cancer. And then when you look at their old videos, he's got a smoke in his mouth the entire fucking, anyway, God rest his soul. The drummer, don't know about him so much. The guitarist is Danny Murphy, who's still active in the scene in Minneapolis, and he's got a band called the Scarlet Goodbye, who I highly recommend you look into. And you know what? I'll make it easier for you. I'm going to post a video. I'm pointing down as if we're in a video podcast. No, not there. I just miss it, though. Don't you? Anyway, they have a song called I think it's called The Ballad of Julianne. And I'll tell you right now, if you don't like that song, you don't like yourself. It is
Wow, that's putting a lot of pressure on people.
Yeah, well, if you're not ready, don't listen to it. But I recommend you listen to it. It is one of the most. Oh my God, I don't want to get mail from the Scarlet Goodbye, which is Jeff Arundel and Dan Murphy are the two guys, and I'm gonna actually have to call them tomorrow to try to get them to play a set at the festival that I'm involved in. It's not a music festival; it's a festival that has music, but it's called Panaprog. Look it up.
Have you
cool.
talked to them before to play?
They played it once, and then they've turned it down a time or two. But they introduced me to a guy named Willie Wisely because they shared a block. Like I needed 3 hours of music, and they're like, we don't have a lot of songs. And I'm like, well, because they were very new. And I said, run them, bring some friends, do whatever. And he was like, okay, well, here's what we'll do. We'll bring Willie Wisely. And Willie Wisely is a gem. Holy shit. Apparently he does like Bowie tribute shows, and he's the real deal. This guy is an entertainer. I'll play him. I think I probably played him for you before. But anyway, Soul Asylum, Danny Murphy. Back to that. I did it. I completed a thought. Is this bad? Am I dying? Is it? These lights are getting bright. Getting close. So anyway, Dave Pirner is the sole survivor of Soul Asylum, but their bass player has a connection to the creator of the TheAscertainers theme.
Oh, really?
Yes. His name's Jerry, I hope I say it right, Taparo, and he has produced, recorded, mixed, all that kind of stuff, because we were talking about movie producers, music producers, I think are different. He's the sound engineer for all of Pierre, all of Molly's Worst Enemy, most of Molly's Worst Enemy. I think he did Fiji. Alex has known him since he was 16 years old. And he's also related to, he's like a cousin or nephew of Butch Vig from a band called Garbage, but Butch Vig most known for producing Nirvana. So kind of cool. I don't know what they're like, how tight they are or whatever. And Al's never met him through him or anything like that. But Alex thinks the world of this guy. And Soul Asylum needed a guy to go on the road. And that was probably 4 or 5 years ago. And he's their guy. He's the bass player for Soul Asylum. So I like their music. I don't know if it's your cup of tea, but it's just kind of Americana rock and roll. It's not, it hasn't changed a lot. It's maybe like American AC/DC in a way, but I think some of their songwriting is pretty interesting. String of Pearls, Just Like Anything. I'll post a tune or two of Soul Asylum.
Dave's matured in his writing.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think.
I mean, they were back in the 80s, like when you and I were just getting out of high school. He was in a band called Loud Fast Rules, and that became Soul Asylum. I think it was because there was some conflict there. Channel 2, TBT or whatever, did a really good, I think they called it a Minneapolis, it was either Minneapolis punk or Minneapolis hardcore. And somehow, I think it was Minneapolis hardcore. It was like a multi-episode kind of thing. And I think within the hardcore, they covered like some of the punk bands, like the Replacements and Soul Asylum and Husker Du and stuff like that. And we live in a good city for, that kind of music history. We could live in fucking Tulsa. I don't know I'm sure they got good bands came out of Tulsa, but we got a ton that came out of Minneapolis.
Was it the 80s or the 90s that he dated Winona
Ryder? I'll probably say late 80s. I'll say right back when that meant something, And Soul Asylum, David Letterman would often say his favorite live band was and I think that kind of took fire or caught hold because they were known as, I think I've seen Soul Asylum live probably 4 times, and fucking good straight ahead rock and roll unit right there. And Pirner is an absolute entertainer. And I met Dave Pirner a time or two, and a
band that doesn't put out great studio albums, but their live shows are great. Better live than they are in the studio.
I'll tell you right now, I would say based on that Lou Reed record you showed me, or whatever that was, that's some of the best music I've ever heard. I've never thought about, is it Lou Reed?
Lou Reed, Rock and Roll Animal.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, I think
Black Crowes has become like that.
Well, I think so. If we can move off Soul Asylum here in a sec, but to say they're a great live band doesn't mean that they're great. I think their studio work is great, but they're a party band. They're fun. Another band that I really thought was like the next best like fun band I ever saw was a band called Live out of York, Pennsylvania. You're welcome. Talking to a prospect in York, Pennsylvania.
Oh my goodness.
Don't listen to this.
You only hear that one song, and it's so depressing.
Which one? Lightning Crashes?
Yes.
Well, they've got the album, the live album.
It's like Radiohead. It's just,
oh, the hell. It's so much more upbeat. That's the one song that's like makes you want to, hop in the tub with a bottle of red wine and a bottle of red pills and just, take a nap. But no, they recorded that album in Cannon Falls, Minnesota, right down the road. Pachyderm Studios, which is no longer. Apparently the best way to go bankrupt is to have a music studio. Because the one that recorded some of Rush's best stuff, Le Studio in Montreal, done. It's like still there, but it's like weeds. Like you can go kind of hike up to it. It was kind of in the wilderness. And then Pachyderm, I think you can still get into it, but it's like not the same.
Well, they follow the Columbia House RCA format.
Record club, they just don't pay their bills.
You're just not going to make money off of it.
Ask any musician you happen to see. I think you'll find there's a trend. Someone's making money, but not the people that are making the music. But live, I saw the band live at the Orpheum Theater in Minneapolis, which is I don't know, what is that? Not even 1,000 seats. Great. Not like 200, but not 1,000, somewhere in between there. And they were just, I felt like, I was never in a frat, but I felt like I was at a frat party. These guys were just tearing it up. And it was good. And that song, yes, they played that song, but that was the, what do you call that? The, what's the thing where it's an off liar? That's not a word, is it? Off liar?
You're kind of an off liar.
Oh, was that you? I woke up this morning and I was laying off a little bit, but anyway.
The older I get, I cannot go to a concert now that doesn't have seating. I can't stand for a whole concert. I can't stand for 3 songs, let alone a whole concert.
Well, are you proud of yourself?
No.
Did you think about that when you were running?
Wow.
See, I'm out of shape and I can stand for a concert. You're in shape and you can't, buddy, do the math. You picked your horse. And in this case, we're going to have to take the horse out, the backstretch. Humanely. It's going to be humane, but everybody might want to plug your ears and look away. Bang! Oh, fuck. Here goes Mark.
When's the last time you stood for a whole concert?
Primus at the Palace Theater in St. Paul, Minnesota. My now daughter-in-law treated me to tickets. One of the really most thoughtful things that anyone's ever done for me. And Alex and Sarah and I went to Primus. And it was fine. I think we kind of leaned on something or whatever. But yeah, it's a thing.
Well, the Palace is okay because the balcony has seats.
Right, but we were on the floor. We were right by the sound guy. We were kind of in the back of the...
And that was how many
floor.
Years ago?
Right after COVID.
So you couldn't do it now.
4 years ago.
I know it.
Okay, tough guy. I can. I'll show you. Well, that's it. You got to know your limitations and stuff, but usually venues have like a area for people like you. Or you could buy VIPs, like at Fine Line, you can get into the balcony, you pay a little extra and stuff, but you could sit at a table, get service and everything. Otherwise, yeah, you're packed in like sardines, and that's the thing. But Fine Line is a bar in Minneapolis. By the way, we're from Minnesota. I don't think we ever introduced ourselves this whole episode.
You mentioned both of us, but we didn't really.
If they're hearing it now, they clicked on something called TheAscertainers, so they probably know where they're at. And by now, it goes without saying that we're not very good at this thing that we do. So topic-wise, we have talked about way too much this documentary that Mark and I both saw called "It All Begins with the Song." And what the documentary, if you've not heard, and if you have, fast forward a little bit, it's basically they interview and documentarize people that have written songs that you've heard, like hits. There's a guy that wrote stuff for Pink. There's a lot of country, because it is Nashville. So it was not like, there's a lot of rock and roll songs. However, I think there might have been Journey, Don't Stop Believin', was written by Jonathan Cain of Journey, and he was not in Journey at the time, and he was a songwriter.
Yeah, that was something about his dad told him.
He called home And he goes, Dad, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And the old man apparently said it's very cheesy in this regard. The whole thing is not as cheesy as this, but it also gave you goosebumps the way they portray it. And the old man's like, no, you can't. You gotta chase your dream. Don't stop believing. And, the next thing you know, that's the song. Is that not the one that the Sopranos ended on? Just a small town girl living in a lonely world? That's the same song.
Okay.
So.
Then don't ask the question if you know the answer.
And I won't tell you no lies. Leonard Skinner.
Before we delve into that, do you want to do any errors?
I have none. That was perfect.
I do have a few.
I might have had a couple.
I should have brought up Wet Willie instead of Blind Faith.
Oh, I don't know Wet Willie. Who was in Wet Willie?
I have no idea, but keep on smiling.
That'd be right on brand then. If neither of us knows what the fuck it is.
Keep on smiling.
Smile for a brother. Okay.
I only heard it because I was listening to Billy Bob Thornton doing a guest DJ thing on XM.
He should be on the list.
And he was talking about Southern rock. He's really into Southern rock.
Okay.
And he brought up all these great bands, and he mentioned Wet Willie. God, I have no idea who Wet Willie is. So
is Wet Willie current, or is he like a really old blues guy?
Wet Willie is a band, not a person.
Okay.
And it's an old Southern rock band.
Old? How old?
Back with
like the
Skinner
30s or
and
70s?
Doobies.
Okay.
Second one is Fran Tarkington only did 3 Super Bowls.
Was Joe Cap the first one?
Yeah.
I was too young to really get the Joe Cap thing. I think, actually, I kind of remember the transition. Was it directly from Joe Cap to Fran?
I don't think so, because Fran was in New York. He was a Vikings. They shipped him off to New York, and then they traded back for him.
Okay. I just thought Joe Cap's name was weird, but I didn't know, my attention span was even shorter. You can imagine.
He was like a Fred Cox, so when he put his helmet on, his head was too big for the helmet.
Okay, wait it down. That affected his throwing motion. Who was the big running back? Was it Teddy Boom Boom Brown and Dave Osborne back then too, or was there somebody before them?
It must have been before that, because those two were with Fran, I believe.
And you know where I met them? I met Dave Osborne and Oscar Reed at Menards in Rochester signing autographs. Yeah. Those guys were probably making $40,000 a year, man.
I know.
I'm telling you, however, I don't know if sports is better or worse. I mean, I feel horrible for those guys. I mean, they're doing what they want to do, right? But they're damn near like musicians back then, as far as what they got paid, and you only work for part of the year, and then you got to fucking find a job.
And your body was getting beat up pretty bad.
You think? Well, back then the rules in the NFL, holy shit!
But they didn't hit like they do now. You weren't.
Well, they weren't as fast,
and you weren't launching yourself as a projectile into making a tackle.
They would whip you to the ground though a lot.
Oh yeah,
and they'd undercut a receiver until the stretcher came out quite a bit. Remember that guy would go up. Now receivers they may as well be in bubble wrap. I mean, I get it. You want to see them like throughout the whole game and season. But back in the day, if a receiver went high, the linebacker's like licking his chops and just going right for his lower legs, and bad things would happen. Okay, what else you got?
Jimi Hendrix experience.
Mm-hmm.
You brought up best 3-piece band.
Yeah, I might have been a little deep into the grape at that point.
And I love,
because the Jimi Hendrix experience was great.
Nirvana, I love Cream.
Great. Green Day was great. Cream was great. Rush was great. Yeah, I didn't give a lot of thought to that one. I just shot from the hip.
But like your brother was saying, Cream, it's a
short-lived experience.
Like drinking scotch. It's an acquired taste.
You think?
I do.
Wow, I thought they had hits.
Well, you didn't know who Blind Faith was, but let's go on from that. And my last one, even though I lived on a hill, we never had name brand food in our house. So I know nothing about snack cakes. And I always interject when you were asking that question. And I had no idea what I was talking about.
I said the thing about a hill like 5 episodes ago. Let it go, man.
No.
You said we lived on a hill, and I remember saying, must be nice. Like that was a thing. I lived on Elton Hills Drive, so there were several hills, but there really weren't. It was just, should have been Elton Hill Drive. Rochester peeps, am I right? Who was behind this?
But my only point was that our house didn't have
We didn't have those
food.
either. we would go to the store and see that shit. Or they had like a thing at our high school where you could buy like a little fucking snack bar kind of a deal. In our house, you bet both my brothers and I, Mom would, like, if she wanted to throw us a bone, she would buy like a box of Captain Crunch. And probably 2 out of the 3 kids got it. It just depended on, it was all about timing. It had nothing to do with if you were hungry or not. It had to do about getting what's yours. The big thing we had, for some reason, Honeycombs cereal was the bar for, or Cheerios. It was Honeycombs, Cheerios, little grape nuts, but nobody liked those unless we had a whole bunch of sugar.
Cornflakes and Rice Krispies was pretty much all we ever had.
So we had Rice Krispies.
Because it was cheap.
The thing about all those non-sugared cereals is that they didn't get eaten without sugar.
Just like spoonfuls
and
of sugar.
Weird? So maybe it's because it was just good old-fashioned sugar. There were not a lot of obese. By the way, I'm obese. Hello. If you go to our Facebook page, you'll see I'm a fat guy. But when I was in high school, I weighed 160 pounds. I was cross-country, track, swam until high school. But we'd eat where the fuck we wanted. So I think this RFK guy might be onto something with like the food dyes and this one. When we started getting into like the high fructose sweeteners and shit, I don't think the body's real good at those. And there's a lot more fat people now. That you look at a thing from the 70s, like a video of people walking around downtown anywhereville. Everyone's pretty lean. So what the hell?
But we were a lot more active.
I guess, yeah, we walk or bike everywhere and shit like that. But put people like you on a hill, so you guys had no chance to get fat. People like you know what I mean? Hill people.
Yeah, we could look down upon the poor people.
See, it's all relative, isn't it? See, you could have it worse. No one pissed on you up there. Your ivory tower. Okay.
That's all I had.
How do you get on this? That's all you got?
That's all I had for errors and omissions, and you can go on to if you have anything.
I have. Boy, do I ever. I listened to...
Oh, wait, one more. I'm sorry. Muscle Shoals. I felt so bad that I said Nashville. If you think of the name Muscle Shoals, it was
fairly self-explanatory. But we've been talking about It All Begins With a Song for so long.
A dumb moment of mine.
So I listened to a little bit of, for no good reason, the B-52s, Dance This Mess Around. Are you familiar with the song?
Play it.
Everybody goes to parties, they dance this mess around, they do the boogaloo, and they apparently there are 16 dances that they call out, or some, depending on the live version, there's varied numbers. I thought this was one of the best comments I've ever seen. So when I go to YouTube, I'll fucking listen, and I just get bored. And I scroll down, and this person says, I exist in 2 forms, before this song and after this song. It changed my life forever. And I'm like, holy shit, that's a powerful statement right there. So anyway, I will play it for you. Okay.
I do remember playing the B-52s in high school, and a buddy came over. Didn't listen to the same music. He was a country music fan.
Did he call you a Sally because you were listening to that, or no?
No, he just thought the music was strange, and I thought, oh man, I can't believe you think this. It is strange, but it is good. And he goes, no, it's terrible. He hated the B-52s.
I know why. I was one of those guys that was, it's rock or it's shit, and there's like the new wave and all that kind of stuff, even though they're an American band from Athens, Georgia. Some people, like some girls I liked at the time, were into Blondie and Talking Heads and B-52s, Car, and it was like, I'm willing to make the switch here because this is some pretty cool shit. But it was a little adventurous for some. Like jocks didn't like the B-52s. That was more of a theater person, if you will. If I want to get real, whatever. I don't know what the word is for stereotyping like that. But So
what are you saying about me? Because I thought they were good.
You were a terrible athlete. That's what I'm saying. Even though Mark was apparently a very good athlete, I think this is very to our songwriting thing. I want to just run this by you real quick. Humor me, if you will. I kind of want to wet my whistle before I do this because I want to make sure I can burp in the middle of it without any preparation. These are the lyrics of a funniest part of the whole thing of a song. It says, "I've been alive forever." Oh, you know what I was going to do? in my head, I thought I would do this in the Casey Kasem voice. So I'm going to
Oh, wow. That'd be good.
Midwestern Jim, a few beers in, because it sounds way better than me just, I've been alive forever, and I wrote the very first song. I put the words and the melodies together. I am music, and I write the songs. I write the songs that make the whole world sing. I write the songs of love and special things. Now, I don't know where I got Casey Kasem out of this. I write the songs that make the young girls cry. I write the songs. I write the songs. And that's where I think I sound like Casey Kasem just on the last line.
Barry Manilow write that, or did somebody else?
Well, thank you for helping me, Mark. I appreciate you. So that song was performed by Barry Manilow. It's called I Write the Songs, and it was written by Bruce Johnston of the Beach Boys. So we're living a lie, everybody, because I've always thought that the songs that I love are written by the person that sang them because they sound so sincere and so, no, it's not a thing. There are very few, I shouldn't say, there's probably half, maybe 60% of the songs that you like hear that are like in your soundtrack of your life that the actual fucking artist wrote it.
You got a writer, you got a composer, and you got a arranger.
The Lone Arranger.
Jim sent me a video of the drummer from Police.
Oh, was that not wild?
That song would not be a hit without his drumming, I don't think.
I never thought that guy's drumming was anything to write home about. And it's some of the most complicated shit I ever heard.
It was amazing.
Was it Don't Stand So Close to Me, I think is what it was?
Every Breath I Take.
No.
No, Message in a Bottle.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Because the one you just said is a very slow song. But yeah, he's a trippy guy. Stuart Copeland from the Police. The Police themselves they're kind of like a band. They're the anti-Rush as far as they weren't friends. They were business associates.
At the end of that video, he goes, Sting, do you ever shut up? No, you never do.
I think they had two giant egos, and then the most talented guy in the band was Andy Summers. And I remember the guy, his name was Steve S. He's passed away. He's a guy I used to run track with, died of an asthma attack or whatever. Mike S. is his brother, still alive. I should connect with him. But I just remember this Steve S. from high school he was like me with Rush, with the Police. He's like, Andy Summers is the best guitarist ever. Like Hendrix, fuck him. Andy Summers. And it's like, what does he even do? He never solos it. He goes, just, can you pay attention to him? And he's all these different tunings and he is just, it's crazy. And the Police, you think about the Police, you think of Roxanne and maybe Message in a Bottle. What's the one where he's stalking the chick? That one. The one that you have tattooed on the lyrics are on your wrist.
Don't Stand
So close to me. No. It's one that they did. It wound up being on a soap opera. It's Every Breath You Take. I'll be watching you. Subtle like that. Point I guess I'm trying to make is based on I think you started it with the drumming thing and the arrangement of songs and all that kind of stuff. And then moving forward to the Police. The Police didn't last because the Police weren't friends. They didn't get along. They weren't AC/DC brothers. But then again, what's the hard to handle? Black Crowes brothers.
Oh, Black Crowes, yeah.
They fought like crazy. AC/DC they were a band, like in the truest sense of the word.
You sent me that video, and then I started thinking, when you're watching these making of an album, and they go, well, let's just isolate this track of the drums or the guitar or the keyboard. And you're thinking, man, that is so amazing. But it gets lost in the whole song. But without it, it's not a hit.
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. May I?
Yes, you may.
I think what you're saying is that you have to be kind of subservient to the song, to the greater good of the song. Everyone can't be the star.
Greater good.
Is that from one of those freak movies you watch? It sounds cool. I'm in. Let's do it. Hey, why's my arm going? Fist pumping. Yes, let's go. Greater good. Also, not a bad band name. Greater good. Good or good.
No, but
good,
finish.
Brother Trucker.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, dude, I went into this episode trying to not interrupt as much as I normally do. And I think as a result, this might make the top 80
Wow.
out of 110. I had another thing, and it had to do with...
I'm sorry, you finish your thought, though, about
which?
I don't know who you were talking about. Now I can't remember.
Well, I write the songs. We did the Police and how bands that get along, they just seem funner to... They seem more
Well, I was
enjoyable
talking
to
about
me.
the isolating track.
Oh, tracks and stuff? Yeah, that's
And
fascinating.
how important it is. And, you know, when a band gets together, someone comes in with an idea, maybe not even lyrics. They just come in with a melody and they put it all together, and then someone writes the lyrics. Like In Excess, the keyboardist would come up with the melody. He would send it to
Hutchins? Michael Hutchins?
Yeah.
We could have
With
saved
your-
him with my Shark Tank idea, which is we should probably call that episode out in the liner notes.
But the keyboardist who wrote the song, he said he would just send him the music, and maybe 4 hours later, Michael Hutchins would come out with lyrics for it.
And that, my friend, is a whole entire series of episodes, how the process goes. Because I know there are some bands where they get the melody and they're like, it's just an ass shaker and they know it, and then they have to write lyrics for it. And those tend to be less interesting songs, in my opinion, because they fit the lyrics into the melody.
That's how Elton John and Bernie Taupin did it.
I'm not sure about that.
Maybe it was the other way around. I'm not sure either.
I thought that Elton took, because I actually just saw a recent, I didn't know what Bernie Taupin looked like. Huh. So it was this week that I saw that.
When they were really young?
I think I sent it to you.
No.
I just, well, I got to send you more videos. You're like, when does Jim get work done? He sends a lot of videos.
When they were younger, they looked alike.
Well, in this case, Bernie looked a lot less Elton-y. But it was weird how Elton John just took like a crinkle piece of paper and put it on the piano. And it was, I can't think of the song. I'm not gonna fake it. But point is that I thought Elton would take the words and then put the music behind it. Because I think that's the way that... Fuck it, I'm dead. So to be... Like, I listen to music differently. You know, you listen to music, I listen to lyrics, and maybe this is a whole other thing, too. I know we're running out of time, and thank you for staying with us, Charlie. Maybe Jeff. Pat. Oh, start with me with Pat. We saw Pat Kay tonight, and he brought up a reference I made to him like 20 years ago about his plaid shirt. He goes, do you not like my shirt? It's plaid. You made fun of me like 20 years ago. I go, that's all I wear is plaid, dude.
Before it ends, we should do where we saw Pat at.
Oh, leaving him hanging for the end. We went to our sponsor, Newt's, and I'll tell you right now, Newt's in Apple Valley is South Metro Minneapolis's premier juicy burger, fresh pop popcorn, ice cold beer, and sometimes hot pull tab boxes. Well, tonight we had 3 out of 4. That's pretty good. We didn't win a pull tabs, but we can't win every time. Come on.
People we were with did. They broke even.
Yeah, they won $250 and it cost them about $249 to get to it. But anyway, good for them. But yeah, Bruce W, Jenny, I can't say Rod and Cheryl M, Pat and Sue K. Saw a lot of people. Sarah,
And Jeff.
Corey. Saw Corey, Jeff H. No, Amy. She's okay. Anyway. But yeah, Newt's. I had so they have a burger called the peanut butter burger, and it's bacon and peanut butter on a hamburger, and it's a good burger, just the way they always made it. But now you can get every burger that's on their menu. You can request it as a smash burger, and that's a thing. And so instead of like it being a thick, juicy burger, it's got like some edge work. It's got a little more character to it. It's thinner because it's smashed. Get it? And sometimes it comes as like 2 little burgers, and sometimes I don't know how they submit it, but I'll tell you right now, you got to go to Newt's. If you're in the South Metro and you haven't tried Newt's, go to Newt's. And if you go there, any night you go there, just say the TheAscertainers sent you, and they'll give you a free bowl of popcorn. That's on us, everybody. Also, if you don't mention it, you get the same, but whatever. Fuck, just work with us on this. So, but we tried to convince on our way out. We couldn't even get out without seeing Pat and Sue. And I told Pat he's got to come on before the 4th of July. And I think we can make that happen. I don't know if it'll do it voluntarily. We'll just grab him.
He sounded like he was very willing to come on.
Really?
Yeah. He said,
I'll let you work that out then, because I don't think you trust me.
I don't trust you.
You still come to my basement.
Yeah.
You ever notice how you lose track of time? It's like, we landed on the moon. There was one, I have to say, I was in the store shopping for groceries because I'm a modern man. I try to share those responsibilities.
What were you doing at Menards?
Saving big money, get 11% off everything that fits in this bag. I found myself, I don't know why I was in this aisle, but I turned around. I think I was finding something, and I turned around, and there it was, the Hostess snack cake little section. I should have just taken a picture of it, but I forgot about one of my favorite, oatmeal pie kind of situations. It's Little Debbie, and they call it the Nutty Buddy, which I'm sure you've had your share of. No, but they had this, they call it the Nutty Buddy. I think it used to be called Nutty Bar, just the Nutty Bar. But it's
does that have that crisscross?
Yes. Yeah, it's like one of the wafer situations dipped in chocolate, and it's got some peanut butter going on too. Mm-hmm. That's probably the best Little Debbie concoction. Shout out an old girlfriend that you turned me on to him, but
spent 5 minutes saying I was too poor to have any of those.
This is poor person stacks. If you were poor, you probably knew about the Nutty Bar. Now known as the Nutty Buddy. Nutty Buddy sounds like an undergarment, really. I think they should stay with Nutty Bar.
Is that like a ball sack?
The Nutty Ball. The encrusted ball sack. They're delicious. I can only eat one. That's all I got, pal. I think we're done.
Well, thank you for listening. You can get all of us on the email of TheAscertainers@gmail.com. I said that last episode, and you said, that's an email. And I was thinking, if you say gmail.com, everyone know that it's an email?
I just like how you said the email.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Facebook and the Newts.
And you can get a hold of us on the Facebook. Share it with a friend. Like us. Go ahead, Jim.
You just like us. That's all we want. That's all we're after. And if you think this episode is in the top, I think my mic, did you shut my mic off?
I did
not. Or am I stroking out here? Anyhow, thanks for listening. It means a lot. We hope you got your money's worth.
Email us. A little feedback would be nice.
Yeah.
Is that begging too hard?
I think you begged just the right amount.
Goodbye, everyone.